I don't think we saw a woman the whole weekend.
Well, we ended up running into a bachelorette party while we were waiting.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that because that was unplanned.
That was unplanned, yeah.
Much like the pregnancies they're coming home with, they were unplanned. Hello and welcome to Is This Good? The show where we boldly, conclusively, and scientifically decide what things in this big wide world are good. With me is on-air powerhouse Jason Doyle.
Hello. Excuse me. I just need a little hair of the dog here. Oh.
Okay. No problem there. We will wait.
Thank you. I needed that. Hello.
Well, we're recording this very late Wednesday night, so isn't hair of the dog for the morning after you drink?
Yes, but I had many drinks over the weekend, and I think I'm still hungover.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, we'll get to that because I'm in the same boat as you. And producing the show, she'd rather host it with a certified public accountant, Rachel Doyle.
Just another whoopsie in the long line of whoopsies.
Yeah, it was getting late here on the West Coast, so I knew it was late there. And I was like, where's this invite to the Zoom that you guys usually send? It is not coming. Finally, you send it, I get on. And Rachel, you told me that you sent it to your accountant at H&R Block instead of sending it to me.
Yeah, I tried. They weren't into it, clearly.
Yeah.
Which is funny because you're on a real cycle because you send every message about your dentist that you're supposed to be sending to your son, you send to me. So...
or hey, you know.
So the question is, who's getting the emails for the accountant?
Oh, yeah, great question.
It's a big clusterfuck. That's all. It's fine. That's how I roll at all times.
Does your accountant have a similar name to me, or?
Yeah, H&R Block. It's pretty similar.
Oh, yes.
It's literally the corporate HR Block. You know, it's like, hey, it's time to file your taxes, dummy. And she just went to the first thing that was open. That's it. She copied and pasted it onto, okay, I'm just going to copy and paste into this window.
It's well past my bedtime.
It literally could have gone to anyone. It could have gone to anyone.
The only person I can conceivably see being named HR is the son from There Will Be Blood. Isn't it? No, H&R.
HNR. That's great.
H&R. We'll start a small oiling concern. All right. Well, sorry, Rachel, but you got me instead. Hey, and if you want to support the show, I'm going to say this off the top this week because things are changing a little bit, but not much. But the place where I put housekeeping, well, that might have changed. Wow. Go to patreon.com/isthisgood. We had a Greater Good come out last week. That's a new segment that you get if you subscribe to the Patreon. What? Oh, it was somehow Rachel talking about Atlanta's record-setting pollen became one of the filthiest episodes we've ever done. If you could figure that out, please tell me because I don't know how it happened. Actually, unfortunately, I do. So go listen to that. You'll also get ad-free episode, access to our thriving community on Discord. You get an exclusive episode every month, and you get all the Greater Goods. Is that too much stuff, do you think?
I think it is too much stuff because I met some people at a live show the other day, and they were like, we're behind. We're way behind. Like, I'm listening to you guys talk about New Year's. So, and they're not going to hear this for 4 months then. So, yeah.
It's catch-up time. It's fine. Yeah.
Well, it's evergreen, you know. Sorry that we came up with a concept of a show that's evergreen. Only the most coveted thing in the world.
New Year's is not that evergreen. New Year's 2025, not very evergreen.
New Year's 2025, not evergreen.
Yeah, then they're going to get to the Oscars in July.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. We talk about a lot of topical stuff here.
It's fine. We're that fun. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right, well, the tariffs will be coming up. No, just kidding. We're not talking about tariffs. So, Bachelor weekend, it happened. JD, saw you for the first time in a while. Saw your beautiful face. What do you want to do with this one? Because it's a girthy conversation.
Yeah, it's really, I'm following your lead here because, we could change names to, protect the innocent or...
There was no one innocent.
Yeah, there's no one innocent.
This thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What do you want to tell? You kick us off and, well, okay. The set piece of the weekend, let's just jump to that right away.
Okay.
Because I'd like to get your reaction. Now, we planned a roast, right? Mm-hmm. A Kill Tony style roast. where everybody sort of gets up for 1 minute. Some guys went a little longer, and basically roast you.
Mm-hmm.
And a roast is at times unkind, meant to be funny in a loving way, I think. Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy?
Well, we're a few days later. I honestly still don't know. I think overall, yeah. No, unequivocally, I did enjoy it, and I'll tell you why. But let me go back a little bit first, because so basically the whole thing that we do is we rent a house in India, which is south of Palm Springs. We wanted somewhere that was hot, so that we could have a pool, so that we could chill, and we didn't want to leave, or at least my idea was I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to be like forcing people to be designated drivers. I didn't want to be making tons of reservations for restaurants and bars. And I don't know, we're just old. Like, there's no reason to go out. There's no one for us there.
You're right.
So we show up to the house, and we're the first people there, like the people in my car.
Yeah.
You are one of those people.
I was one of them.
We start unloading the stuff, and I'm in the kitchen, and then I've got a beer in my hand, and I turn around, and a man just walks into the house. A man I don't know. And I think it's the guy that owns the house, right? And he's going to start yelling at me for, like, don't do this, don't do that. And then I see he's carrying something very big and heavy. Yes. And then he places it on the ground in the living room. Yeah. And then I look at his back, and on the back it says, I believe it said Johnny Karaoke.
That's right.
Right. JohnnyKaraoke.com for all your karaoke needs. And so I guess I just thought to myself, like, okay, I guess that's nice. Like, that's a surprise thing they're doing, that we're going to do karaoke. Like, I don't know if that's going to go over super great, but, sure, that's great. I appreciated that. Yeah. But what I did not know, and this was one of the greatest parts about the roast, is that you went so far out of your way and put in effort and put in money so the karaoke guy could bring the amplifier and the PA speakers and 3 microphones so that you could do the roast amplified, which made all the difference.
It made a huge difference. And there was a lot of debate back and forth. Do we need it? Is it really that necessary? But I think we were proved correct. It was necessary. And it added to it, and it made it kind of like a show. And it was fun.
It made it 100% like a show. And I think it would have felt worse if it was just someone like speaking to me in a regular voice, like I'm normally used to hearing their voice, looking directly at me, being like, here's a long list of ways in which you've disappointed us over the years. I mean, look, so basically one person at a time went up and roasted me. And I've always watched roasts and thought, like, I wonder if I could ever do that. I've never once wondered, will I ever be famous enough for me to be roasted on TV? Yeah. But just is this something I would enjoy? And now that it's happened to me, I was barely hanging on. And that was with people I knew. And the only people in the audience were people I knew.
Right.
And the next day, some people were like, oh, man, that was so good. Like, we should have recorded it. And I was like, no, because I've just started to forget the things that were burrowing into my brain as things that I could think about late at night, when I couldn't sleep and wanted to feel upset. So I'm very glad there's no record of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, much like, honestly, most of the weekend, I'm glad. I didn't take a single picture. I took one picture the second I got there of me at the pool to send back to Jill to be like, hey, we got here. And that was the last picture I took.
I took a couple for sure. There's been a few in the group chat, none of which are going here or here or here.
No. And to be clear, it's not because it was like debaucherous in a stripper sense. No, first of all, I don't think we saw a woman the whole weekend.
Well, we ended up running into a bachelorette party while we were waiting.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that because that was unplanned.
That was unplanned. Yeah.
Much like the pregnancies they're coming home with, they were unplanned. But there was no strippers. In fact, that was my only stipulation that I told. I don't even want to. Normally, people would want me to mention their name to say thanks to them, but this person does not want to be mentioned, so I won't mention their name. But that was my only thing. I was like, I just don't want strippers. I don't want to go to a strip club, and I certainly don't want strippers coming into my house.
And we respected that.
Yeah, but you were disappointed, I assume.
No, I wasn't disappointed at all.
No, was there a general disappointment, or did people
Not that I know of. No one said anything to me.
Oh, okay.
I think everybody got exactly what we came for, which was just chilling at a house in the desert, which is exactly what we did.
Well, you do make it sound much more pure than it was, but
Well, yes, it wasn't exactly just chilling.
yeah, you make it sound like there was an acoustic guitar
Yeah,
and a
no,
bongo,
yeah,
and we
yeah.
sang "Take Me Home, Country Roads."
No, but there were moments where I walked through and like, man, these guys are in touch with their femininity, man. Like there were like heart to hearts happening, you know.
Oh, there was
like
heart-to-hearts.
face to face couch, like
Nice.
like the blonde blob in White Lotus, you know, when they're getting along, you know. They're just all like together and talking to each other.
The
and,
blonde
like,
blob.
that's what they're calling them.
Oh.
Well, we were
The
together
internet
for a
is
lot of hours, so it's like
Yeah.
you do run out of the superficial stuff fairly quick.
Oh no, and there was some dark secrets I learned about people.
Oh, damn. Spill
Now,
it.
see, I want to ask you now. What
I can't say.
it seemed like you were surprised that you had to go up there. Did you
Yeah.
feel like setting up hiring the karaoke guy and being there when he set up the machine? Did you feel like that absolved you from having to perform?
No, here's what happened. I foolishly took an edible like an hour before it happened.
Yeah.
And it kind of hit me right as the roast was happening, and I think I went up fourth. So I aborted everything that I was going to say, basically, and then I just started winging it. Yeah, I had all this material about how Jill is too young for you, and I started out the whole thing by mentioning 9/11, which was a terrible idea, and I realized it in real time, and I'm like, because the whole bit was like, yeah, we spent 9/11 together, and luckily Jill was at nap time at her daycare, something like that, you know, just something
Yeah.
at the time. Just a stupid joke.
I think that would have been fine.
I know, but I
relative to
thought-
some things other people said.
I know, but I was like, I can't do this.
The gummy
I don't know.
fucked you
Yeah,
up.
it did.
Yeah.
If it hits you in the wrong way and you're paranoid,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there before.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was paranoid, but I don't know. I just aborted.
Questioning yourself.
I was questioning it.
Yeah.
I'm not used to standing up and talking to people weirdly. You know, when I do the show, I stand up over where Rachel is, and if I make a joke, I hear laughter immediately in my ears, and I know something worked, but there was like a disconnect, you know? And plus I was high, right? So it was just like, okay, this isn't going to work. I'm stopping this right here.
Abort.
I said something, and then I told a story that I got completely wrong, and you called me on it right there, like a heckler. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. That's not what happened? Okay, well, this next part's not going to work. So anyway, thanks. Good night, everybody.
Okay, well, you could say the thrust of your story was basically you reminisced about the first time you met me,
Yeah.
which was we're in college. It's the first class. We're in the same class. We obviously don't know each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't know how old I am. I guess you assume I'm, college age, which
Yeah.
was more or less correct.
Yeah.
And then I obviously don't know how you are. To me, you look just like me. A young buck.
I appreciate that. But for those who are new here, I'm 10 years older than Matt. So we met in college. I started late. And yeah, you had a story. You wrote a story or something. It was one of the early assignments or whatever, and it was all about you playing guitar on a train in Europe. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. I liked you when I met you, but I was like, yeah, this fucking guy, this insufferable douche here. Because there's nothing I hated worse. Yeah, here's what it was. When I was your age, I was on a train playing a guitar, exactly the same. Exactly the same. So it makes me cringe to think of it when I'm 30 and you're 19 and I'm like, oh God, I'm going to break this kid. I'm going to break it.
That was my favorite part, is that you just kept repeating. So he was telling the story, and in my head, I just kept saying over and over, I don't care how long it takes, but I'm going to break this kid.
That's right.
which I enjoyed, because from my perspective, I felt like we were getting along like a house on fire right from the start.
We were I was just sort of amping it up for the roast, but I
Yeah.
was like, I'm gonna go take this kid drinking, and if he can't keep up, I'm just gonna laugh at him. And you kept up.
Woohoo! Binge drinking.
You did.
Which is I wouldn't say it's the whole friendship, but it's a piece of the pie.
Yeah. So here's the thing: you were wondering if you could handle being roasted, and I think I discovered that I just can't handle roasting. I just can't do it.
Well, because I think you watch and you're like, well, if necessary, like if there's a joke behind it, I don't mind being mean because I'll get a laugh and it'll sand the edge off of it. Yeah. But I do think that people took it pretty easy on me. I did get the sense that people were like, I don't really want to ruin this night by crossing a line.
Right.
Even if it is funny.
It's funny you say crossing the line because the night before, Trey, Skeets, and myself rode up with you, as you said, and you hit a rumble strip, and you stayed on it for maybe.
Christ. I can't believe you're bringing this up.
You stayed on
this
it.
This was brought up 30 fucking times over the course of the weekend. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know why it came up, but we were all like, hey man, you hit that rumble strip pretty hard. Like, I don't know why like it came up. I don't know if it was I mentioned it or Skeets mentioned it. And all three of us were like, yes, you did. Like, and we just jumped on you. And then that was the whole bit for the night. And you were so annoyed by it.
Okay, here was my argument. My argument was, yes, I did hit the rumble strip.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the sort of, what would you, how do you, like it's
like a warning groove in the side of the road that if you're driving off of the road, it rumbles your car.
Red alert.
Or if you fall asleep or something and your car starts drifting. Mm-hmm. So I said, right away, I said, you're correct. You're correct. You're all three of you are correct. I did hit the rumble strip. But
no.
I was exiting and I hit the rumble strip. And what did I say? I saw the curvature of the road. And I knew that I could either jerk the wheel back or let it ride the rumble strip for maximum 3 seconds and I'd be off it based on sort of the parabolic shape that we were following.
Oh my God.
But this was not accepted, Rachel. They would not let me have it. They wanted me to, as soon as rubber touched strip, as soon as rubber hit rumble, they wanted me to jerk the wheel backwards and get them back on the road. And I said, what's the point? Well, why is this necessary?
Jason is not an easy person to have in the passenger seat, so I sympathize.
Hey, I didn't say anything. We all continued the conversation, but 3 seconds on a rumble strip is a very long time.
I'm hitting rumble strips all the time.
Well,
by the way.
Okay.
It's happening all the time.
No, good for you.
So I was not good for me, but I'm not embarrassed.
I don't think it's great for the car, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it wasn't my car. And anyways, in a way, I do think you're right. Like, I think roasting someone is harder than being roasted because A, you have to fucking write the thing and think about the thing.
Yeah.
And then also you have to wonder, like, if I don't go far enough, people are going to think it's lame. If I go too far, I might ruin this person's night.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to go in the middle. There was only a few where I was like, had to stop my brain from thinking over and over, like, oh, is that what people think about me?
No.
Is that what people say behind my back? You know?
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like at this point I can kind of guess how I annoy people, I guess.
It wasn't happening to me, so I don't know. Like, I don't think that I would like it. But I laughed a lot.
It was very fun. It was very funny because it was like a bunch of people that are absolutely not comedians.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say all my friends are funny, but funny in very, very different ways.
Yes.
Like some people went up and I was on the floor laughing just because it was so straight. Like they delivered it so straight.
Yeah.
Versus what they were saying. Some people like just the physicality and like dancing and the movements was funny. Some people's delivery was just so like sort of dry and sarcastic. And I don't like, a lot of it was on purpose, but a lot of it wasn't. I think it's just the case of like, well, what do I sound like when I'm holding a microphone and I'm in front of people?
Yeah.
Saying things that I've kind of tried to memorize but haven't really. And it was very funny. Everyone was funny in a very different way, I thought. But it was, like I said at the end of it, you know, like I've heard my whole life Jeff Ross say, who, by the way, we saw on Thursday, you know, you only roast the ones you love. But that's what they say. Like, oh, do they love fucking James Franco? Oh, did they love Hugh Hefner? You know, like, did they love Alec Baldwin? No. They're like, oh, this is a person that has a lot of stuff about them that we can be really mean about.
Right.
And then at the end, we'll say, you only roast the ones you love to make that person feel better.
Yeah.
In this case, I think it was
was genuine, though, in this case.
Yeah, I agree, because, you know, everyone that was there, I've known them for a long time. So I do think it was. Anyways, I'm not asking for credit for this, but I think that anything that was bothering me about it, which was very, very, very few things, and to be honest, I don't remember what they were. I moved on very quickly. and the night continued.
Well, good.
Now, the funny part to me, or one of the funny parts to me, was so that gets done. Everyone kind of gets up, moves around. The party continues. And then at a certain point, it's getting later, and I see people kind of futzing with the karaoke machine. And I guess they're thinking, well, shit, we paid for this thing. Maybe we get it going and sing a few songs, see how that goes.
It's 14,000 songs on that thing, Johnny Karaoke told me.
Oh, I believe him, because that bookkeep, he was first I thought he was an encyclopedia salesman.
Yeah.
So so you guys are futzing with it. And then the siren call of the karaoke machine kind of brings everyone in, but it does not work. All you can do is kind of flick through songs, and when one comes up that you know, you just stop hitting the forward button, and then you have to sing that. Like, you can't look through the book, see it's 08534 for, whatever, If I Could Turn Back Time by Cher, and put that on. That's not an option for you. You're just flipping through.
Well, we finally figured out how to program it in, but every time we picked a song that we actually wanted, it crashed.
Okay. Well, something was wrong.
It just definitely didn't work.
So then I got, just a week after, on this very podcast, you went on like a 20-minute rant about how your night was ruined at the live show by bad sound and interference and snaps and crackles and broken microphones, and it was stressing you out.
Yeah.
Here we were at another party where JD is like hunched over the controller with the instructions in his other hand. And then at some point I saw you picked up the PA and were like looking behind it and unplugging and plugging something in it. I was like, God damn it. Even on his weekend away, he cannot get away from covering for a sound man.
Yeah. I was diddling knobs in the desert. It was not fun. So frustrating, man. It was good that it ended up working for what we needed it to do, but it just literally died. Like, it just stopped working, and then I got it back, resurrected it, and then, God, it just fucking died. Like,
so are we leaving a negative review for Johnny Karaoke?
No, not mentioning it. Why? Like, poor Johnny. I mean,
poor Johnny.
I think we're probably his only client in months. Honestly, who rents a karaoke machine?
Oh, people rent karaoke machines there for sure. Bachelorettes, I can see bachelorettes doing it.
Okay.
I don't know.
I guess. I mean, or they just go on YouTube, which is what we ended up doing.
Yeah, that was the funny part.
Yeah.
Oh, what if I take my phone, beam a YouTube karaoke video to the TV, which then very quickly was like, started recommending videos, and at this point, as it got later, I mean, we were up until 5:30 on Friday night.
Yeah.
5:30 a.m. That's the latest I've been up in Lord knows how many years.
Yeah.
So by Saturday at midnight, people were running out of gas.
Right. We started with in good faith to start karaoke, and we ended by, I think we watched the entire heist scene from Heat.
Yeah,
and then the last 20 minutes of Constantine for some reason. I don't know who was. Well, I do know who was controlling.
Yeah, we know certain things happen. Now, unfortunately, so the weekend ends. I mean, Rachel, I guess we'll open up to ask questions if you want questions. I mean, we can't answer any of them, but you can ask.
Well,
them.
That's what I heard. So I don't know that there's any point. I mean, it sounds like it's pretty confidential. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's more, I don't want to be too explicit.
Yeah.
Maybe this. Will you accept this as an excuse? Once you talk about something and it belongs to everyone else, and this was just a beautiful weekend with my beautiful beefy boys.
Oh, beefy. That's nice.
But that's not really the reason. The real reason is I don't want to catalog everything that was done or that happened. So the weekend ends. I'm driving you and Skeets and Trey back to the airport in Palm Springs, a short 30-minute drive, and then I'll be on my way back home, and you guys will be back off to Atlanta. No worse for the wear.
Yeah.
And as we're driving, your flight goes from like 1 p.m. to 1:30 to 2 to 2:30. So finally, I'm like, okay, well, we'll go out. We'll have a drink, right?
Yeah.
Because I'll wait with you. So we go in to a place called
Hair of the Dog.
Hair of the Dog.
Yeah.
What a fun callback. And anyways, long story short, your flight ended up getting delayed, 4.5 hours? 5 hours?
Yeah, at least. Yeah, we were supposed to leave at 1:30, and I think we left around 8 in the end. So
yeah, so I guess I'm wondering, at that point, as your flight's getting delayed hours and hours, you're tired, you're hungover, all you want to do is get home and sleep it off.
Yeah.
But yet here we are at a very shitty bar that we only went into because it had a lot of space in it.
Yeah.
Drinking more, knowing that you're gonna get home at 3:30 a.m.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind at that point?
Well, by then I sort of accepted it. I was not going to drink at all like that day. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to hit the ground running on Monday. I'm not going to have anything to drink. And then we end up at this Hair of the Dog place. The diviest bar in Palm Springs. Got to be, right?
But not divey in a good way. Not
No.
divey in a good way.
Well,
I love a dive bar.
this
was just...
when we walked in, it was not good. But by the time we left, there was the women's final was happening. There was a whole slew of lesbians were there playing pool. The jukebox was going. It was fine.
Someone finally hit up the Kiss pinball machine.
Exactly. It was fine. And then, it was like 4 pints there. And then you were like, okay, I'm taking you to the airport, which was fair. Totally
Yeah,
fair.
well, at a certain point, I was like, I can't keep drinking here because I have to drive home for 3 hours.
Right. Yeah.
So
totally
I did.
fair.
I finally took you. But, oh, man, since I've gotten home, and I apologize to any listeners, but I have not had a coherent thought.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
It's been tough. All right, Rachel, now open up for questions.
I mean, I should have prepared for this. How did it compare to Jill's?
Sorry, can't tell you. Next question.
Okay, fuck.
Well, we didn't have a single clogged toilet.
That's true. And there were some beefy boys. I will say one thing about this house. A lot of toilets.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Like, what? 1, 2, 3. There were at least 6 toilets? Am I wrong about that?
At least, yeah. This place was crazy.
There was no short, plus the pool. So there was no shortage of toilets.
Okay.
Who did you room with? Did you get your own?
I got my own room, yes.
Yeah,
As the Bachelor, I got my own room.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Sweet. I stayed with one of our goats, the professor.
Patreon legend, the professor.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah. That guy's intimidating. I will say this about that.
Okay, yeah.
About David. Just a great guy. But I don't know. I was very intimidated by him because he's so smart, I'm just like, I don't know. I just felt I was wilting under him.
I walked into your room a couple times, not to look through anything, obviously, but just to use the restroom because I was closer to it. And there was a very large academic tome on his unmade bed.
Yeah.
That was intimidating you?
Yeah. Yeah. And he's sitting by the pool reading what looks like could have been a textbook. I mean, this guy.
Yeah, that's what we didn't want to tell you, Rachel. We didn't want to tell you that some people got some pages in. Yeah. I didn't see him. I think he was reading early Saturday morning when one thing I'll say that was funny is I didn't know anything about what was happening, but I was told, bring a pair of hiking shoes.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, we're going on a hike. And then at some point, probably at about 4 a.m. the night before, I know it's got to be Saturday morning because we're leaving Sunday morning. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And I assume people wanted to do it because they thought I would like it. But I would not have liked it.
Yeah.
And anyways, went to bed so late that by the time I got up, I saw 3 people in hiking gear. And they they did not even ask me or try to put pressure on me. Like, are you sure you don't want to come? We go. Yeah. They just, boom, left. And took my car, which I didn't know either. Which I only found out when they were like, oh, yeah, the road there was we were 3 miles on this gravelly road and the rocks were pinging the car.
Oh, they took your car.
Car did you take? They're like, your car. I was like, oh, thank you.
Obviously.
Thanks for that.
I was impressed you guys had planned to do something.
Yeah, I was 50-50 on the hike going in because when is the next time? Am I ever going to be back there? It sounded kind of fun. It looked kind of fun. But
yeah, but everyone that didn't want to go was just like, as long as I keep my head down, don't say anything, I probably won't have. It reminds me of when it was Carlisle's bachelor party. This was many years ago. We had a friend that was helping me organize it, and he was so insistent. He was like, the day we leave, it was in Austin, Texas, there happens to be a dress-up 5K. So the day we leave, we're going to wake up. I bought Borat mankinis for all of us, and we're all going to put one on, and we're going to run a 5K race.
Right.
I said, so many things are wrong about that. Not least of which, I'm not wearing a fucking Borat mankini.
Right. Right.
I know that a lot of my friends are sculpted like Adonises,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
not. I'm not wearing a Borat mankini.
Yeah.
And then he was just kept insisting, no, we're going to do it. And no matter what I did in the months leading up to it, I could not knock him off this corner. And to the point where I finally said, you know what, the only cure for this is I have to make sure that everyone gets completely wasted on Saturday night.
Yeah.
So that we all sleep through it. Because it's a race. It starts pretty
Right,
early.
yeah, there's a specific time, yeah.
It was the start time, it was the running part, and it was mostly the Borat mankini, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyways, of course, we went out so late that everyone slept through it. And then in the morning, I had to do oh my God, what time is it? We just missed the race.
Did you put on the mankini before you did that? That would have been funny.
No, I didn't. Rumor is there's still some Borat mankinis flying around from that weekend.
And of
but
course-
I've never seen anyone in one.
Well, it's not hard to picture the man who
man whose
organized
bachelor
it.
party
Of course, he wants to do it. He would look great in a mankini.
I don't think anyone looks great in
Well,
that.
he would look the best out of all of us.
No,
sure.
that's 100% true.
Yeah.
All right, Rachel, any further questions before we move on?
I mean, am I allowed to ask what kind of things you took in to get
Yeah,
you?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the dirtiest drug I did all weekend.
Okay, hit me.
And your husband gave it to me, and he dosed me with it. He put it in a drink, and he gave it to me. It was called Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer.
Oh, that's smart.
And it didn't
It
work.
was funny because he gave it to me, and I started drinking it, and I did say out loud, of all the disgusting things I put in my body this weekend, this is by far the worst.
It's not pleasant.
Did it work?
No. Between that and the Pepsid you gave me, I think we got close to back to zero. Yeah. I mean, the bachelor party started on Thursday. Oh, I guess we should say we went to the comedy store. Or
Yeah.
do you want to talk about how much traffic that you had to sit in?
I mean, it's LA. There was traffic.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
move on.
But you were not. It was a tough start to the weekend.
Yeah, look, I always go to the root of the problem, and the root of the problem is that we did a fucking show that morning. That's the root of the problem. Because if I wasn't doing a show, I would have got on an earlier flight, would have got to the hotel, had a nice shower, been on time for dinner. I wanted to be early for dinner. That place was awesome that we went. Are we allowed to say what it was?
Yeah. Moving on.
Okay. It's a little controversial. But anyways, I would have loved to sort of hang out there for a bit, wait for the table. The table's not ready. Go have a artisanal cocktail in the corner there. I would have really, really enjoyed that. But
Yeah. So again, so it's not my fault. It was
It's not-
Skeets, Taz, and Trey's fault.
yeah, exactly. No, it's my fault. I could have been like, I'm not doing a show.
You're
Like,
too easy to get along with.
Well,
you need
you know what?
to just change that.
The Friday that we're leaving for the party, or for the party, he's having a big party. It's called a wedding.
Yeah, that party.
They all booked their flights for like after the show, and I'm like, well, I booked my flight for 9 a.m. Sorry.
See ya, suckers.
Well, there's no time change, so you
No.
should be okay. You should be okay either way.
But I don't want to get there in rush hour. I don't want to be, which is what happened. We got there in rush hour. I mean, LA, fuck, there's traffic in LA, and it is great. It is. We went to the restaurant from the hotel, or from the airport, basically. It was rush hour, and then the next morning to meet up to go to Palm Springs, we traveled through rush hour in LA. What are you gonna do? Anyway, so we were late, had dinner. That's it. And then
we went to the comedy
went to
store,
the
and
comedy
it was not great. It was bad.
No,
would say
it
it was
was.
C-
You know
C
what?
plus.
No, I'm gonna push back on that. It was
Okay,
great.
push back.
It was great. It's the fucking comedy store. I've never been. It was a thrill to be there. It was right next to our hotel, so that part of it was at least easy. And I was just happy to be in that room. It's like Jeff Ross. I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't hate Jeff Ross. Like, whatever, but. Jeff Ross is a name that people know. People in comedy know, and it's just great to be in the same room with him. I gave him a fist bump when I came out of the washroom. He was downstairs, and
Nice.
and Caroline Ray was there, and she fucking ate shit and bombed, but no offense, Caroline, but it was still cool to be there when she was there.
Jason teased me. He's like, "Oh, Bobby Lee's gonna be there." I'm like, what?
Bobby Lee was there, but
Bobby Lee was in the
main
building,
room.
but he was not in the original room. He was in the main room. But
How disappointing.
that's the fucking thing about the comedy stores. Like, you never know who's going to be where. It's a
Exactly.
real crapshoot. To get tickets, you got to buy them usually at least a few days, if not a week in advance. And because we were so many people, I think we bought them well in advance.
Yeah.
So you just never know. Like, it could kill, it could not kill. But
Yeah.
Anyways, it was fun to be there. It was a fine first night because it wasn't, like, extreme.
Yeah, there were a couple of comics that absolutely killed. A guy I'd never heard of before, and he was incredible, and so I've discovered a new comedian, and that's what going to a comedy club is all about.
Why don't you drop his name?
Brent Moran, I believe his name was.
Yeah,
Or
he was
is.
great. He was the best.
Absolutely
best person there, for sure.
killed.
Yeah.
And it didn't. Well, anyways, I'm not going to shit on any of the other comics. There was another famous comic there who absolutely bombed, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Rachel, anything exciting happen while we were gone?
Oh, I wanted to ask you one more thing. What kind of snacks did you eat? Because I know you were high a lot. What was the snacks that you had that?
That's a good
what kind of
question,
snacks do we
actually.
have? Someone brought some coffee crisps from Canada, which I
Yeah.
really appreciated.
Nice.
There was like every manner of chip. There was
there were so many gummy type snacks,
like,
which I didn't.
Nibs, Twizzlers,
But I didn't touch
Sour
any of them because
Keys.
I couldn't tell. Like there was one guy who was just casually nibbling on, like, somebody had to stop him. Like, I don't know how many he had, but like it was late, and he was just like, "These are really good."
There was one guy. The eating was the least of my problems.
Right.
Like, I didn't eat as crazy as I could have.
Yeah, me neither.
And then even then, my stomach was dead by Saturday. But
Yeah.
anyways, we got the mailbag. It's back. This one I thought was apropos based on what we've been talking about. Hey, Maddie, JD, and Rachel. Not bringing a pickleball or even rucking, but it seems like all of you are active, health-conscious individuals. I'm close to 50 and physically active, although not keeping count of calories, just trying to eat healthy, consume alcohol in moderation, etc. Some of this is because it just feels better to be active and to not eat shit food, not to mention the body tolerates alcohol much less at this age. But it's also amazing to eat sweet pastries for breakfast, pop 2 beers for lunch, and eat a tub of ice cream in the evening. This guy could not be more right. However, it seems there's a short window of a fuck it age, somewhere between your late teens and early to mid-20s, and you then either become a slob who doesn't care or someone who constantly has to worry about consequences. But once you reach, 90, surely you don't care anymore. If I'm 90, why wouldn't I just do whatever I want and trade any health consequences for the enjoyment? If someone offered me heroin, I'd probably say, fuck it, I made it this far, why not? The actual fuck it age is probably even much lower, but what should it be, 80, 75? What do you think is your fuck it age? Thanks. That's from Balaz. And then I better check with you, JD, because in brackets he put JD nailed the pronunciation, 5 stars.
I believe it's Balaj.
Well, I have egg on my face. Thanks, Balaj.
I think.
Nice.
So it's interesting what this person's saying. I'm actually slightly confused about the first part because I thought they were saying that when you're like you have a fuck it. He's thinking you should have a fuck it age when you're old, right? Which I think we can all understand. Like, if you say, I don't want to do heroin when I'm 40 because I've got a family and I have a job and whatever, and I don't want to get mixed up in it. If you were 95 and could do it, like, what's the difference is what he's saying.
That's how I'm going out. If I'm like,
Well-
I'm done here, I'm going out on a heroin kick.
Oh.
I mean, unfortunately, we're probably all going to go out on that kick because it's
Yeah.
just an opioid, and
That's
at the
what they-
hospital when you're in there for end-of-term care, they're giving you opioids anyway.
They're not killing me with it, though. I'm saying, like...
They can give you enough that...
No, I know. That's why I'm like... If I'm like, okay, think I'm hitting the dementia thing, and I want out before it gets, I'm like... I'm going to just write a little contract for Jason. This is what I want done. Give it to me.
I think there's more humane ways to do that. Though.
How is that not humane to feel fucking amazing before you...
Oh,
kick the
well, I guess,
bucket?
like, then you'd have to figure out... Yeah, I guess you have to figure out what dose of heroin's going to kill you.
Yeah.
But as someone that's never done it, I guess actually probably be pretty low for you. But
I don't know.
who's to say? All right, but then there's also a fuck it age, like... I mean, your whole life is kind of fuck it until you're... I don't know. Cerebral cortex comes in, like, till you're in your 20s, I would say.
So that's when fuck it stops in your 20s, you're saying?
I kind of think so.
Yeah.
I mean, like, famously, kids don't care about consequences.
No, of course not.
That's true.
They're doing, even if you think about something that's not like drugs or drinking or anything like a substance, like the way that a 12-year-old skateboards, a 45-year-old person could never skateboard that way. I mean, I guess unless you're fucking Tony Hawk or something like that.
No,
I just mean that, like, consequences be damned. Or like the way you see, like, 12-year-olds ski, like on a ski hill, and they just like go on a black diamond and just go whoop straight down.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then that same person when they're 40 is suddenly like very cautious and like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, your frontal cortex, like you said, isn't fully developed, so you don't even recognize the consequences that could happen per se.
Yeah, but even when you're 12, you're like, it would be awesome if I broke my leg right now. 'Cause
I've
I would
never
get a
thought
cast,
that ever.
Everyone, all the cute girl at school will sign it.
Exactly. I'll probably miss some school, to be honest. Like, I'll have maybe get a cool scar and stuff. Yeah, no, it's there's.
Yeah, but you also have like close to no survival like instinct when it comes to stuff still.
Wow. Well, that's harsh, but
You're like, it's fine. It's fine. This is fine.
I was the most well-behaved person on this trip, I will have you know. I will reveal that much.
Oh. Is that true, Matt?
I guess I think so. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I was.
But you participated fully.
Oh, yeah, of course I did. But,
Anyway, so what? So do you feel like so Rachel already said she's going to do this. I just think like I'd like to believe this. I'd like to believe that
she said that she was going to euthanize herself. That's different.
Yeah.
That's way, way different.
It's not like let's have fun time.
Yeah, no, it's like you know what? I will have the brownie for dessert because I'm 95 and who fucking cares? That's different than oh my god, I'm got early onset something or other.
And I don't like that I'm smearing my own shit on the walls and my husband is changing my diapers. Bye-bye, world. I've had enough of this.
I mean, okay, this is a more of a serious question, but do you feel like that's going to hold forever? Because, like, don't you think that once you actually start to get older and you start to decline, that you'll reset your expectations for where you should be? Like, I just think that people are somewhat cavalier and, definitive about, I'd rather die than be X or do X. And then you get to that point and people tend to hold on.
I guess, but the idea of somebody having to fucking growing to resent me because I'm just a human vegetable that they have to wipe and clean.
This is not the subject. This is
not
supposed
to be a fun question.
I can't reset that.
Like, what are you doing? This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about when you decide, okay, you know what? I don't care anymore about what I eat.
Oh, wait.
It's like when you have
or get high.
Whatever.
But it's whatever. It's fuck
like,
it.
This is not good for me. I'm gonna do it, and I'm. It's not like I'm 95. So you know what? I'm finally gonna go down that Black Diamond hill. You know what I mean? Like, push me, son.
Yeah, it's time to take up the trapeze. Things like that. You might say.
Yeah.
It's so hard to decide because who knows.
Well, but hold on. That's a good point. Because if there's things like you want to go bungee jumping, but you're too scared, or skydiving or whatever.
Right.
And then you might hit an age where you're like, all right, I literally don't care anymore. This would be a fun way to go out. But at some point, you're too old to do these things.
Right, that's exactly right.
I don't want to put a number on it. But.
So the age is 75.
So it's 75. But, okay, here's the other problem. At 75, even 75 right now in 2025, you could easily live to be 95 years old. Which means you could have 20 more years of, in theory, productive, somewhat healthy life.
Right. Yeah.
So are you really going to hit 75 and be like, all right, I don't care anymore?
Yeah,
I mean, kind of, yeah,
so.
because, no, I am. Because it's like, there's nothing but decline after 75. Sorry, all you 75
There's nothing but decline after 30 or 25.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. So.
Or really 18, I suppose.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But it's just like, I don't know. 75 just seems like, all right, I'm going to start not caring. I'm going to have the hot fudge sundae. But then, you know what? Then you get the shits at 75 is way worse than when you're 35. It's got to be, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of like, I think of it in the way we experience drinking, let's say, currently.
Yes.
Like a beer at 45, or let's say 3 beers at 45 is very different than 3 beers at 20.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe that hot fudge sundae you think is going to bring you a lot of joy, but actually it's going to be so painful that it's not even going to bring you any enjoyment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think that the answer to this question is like, do everything you can within reason always.
Yes.
Because if you're saving it up, it's going to be disappointing.
Yeah, yeah. The time is now.
I think I had to get it done before I was 25, I think.
The hot fudge sundaes?
No, like the weird shit like bungee jumping and all that. Because I'm just...
Did you do any of that, though?
No.
So it's too late.
So you're looking back wistfully saying, I should have.
I might have had less holding me back from doing it then.
Okay, so you're never going whitewater rafting.
Oh, God, I'm such a terrible swimmer. I'd definitely be in there and someone would have to save me.
Whitewater rafting is a good one.
I like white. Of all the extreme sports, that's the one I will do. I've done it before, and I'll do it again.
Yeah, me same.
Like bungee jumping, no thanks. Skydiving, no thanks. No. Things with heights, not really. But I don't know. For some reason, I feel safer in like a whitewater rafting than I do on a roller coaster.
Oh, really?
And that's crazy. That is a crazy thing.
That is
you
crazy.
Just said.
I know, but
I'm the same way though.
Guess who I believe in?
You.
Mother Nature.
Oh, Mother Nature.
Oh my God.
Mother Nature is the fucking cruelest bitch there is.
Yeah.
You should not, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
A roller coaster has people safety checking.
But a roller coaster also has like, you get on the thing and there's like a loose bolt there, and you're like, oh,
right.
That seems bad.
Yeah, but there's parts of the river that are instant death if you get sucked into it, even if you're wearing like a life jacket.
The ocean those rivers are
that.
vicious.
I've gone on, I don't know what class rapids, but I don't think there was ever a point where they were like, if you fall out of the boat, you're literally dead.
Oh, I've gotten that. I went in Australia and they were like, we cannot go on this side. Whatever we do, we cannot go on this side. See that churning death pit of whatever? You will get sucked under there.
We call it the vortex.
Yeah.
Numerous fishermen in my community, they didn't make it home.
Yeah, but they weren't
the ocean,
going
Rachel. That's the
ocean. It's still like trusting Mother Nature.
Oh yeah.
No. I don't trust Mother. You think I trust the ocean? Mother Nature's creations were not created equal in terms of their danger to me.
Right.
Anyways, just live now. Live now. Yeah. Live now is what I've been telling myself as I'm trying to justify why I feel the way I do.
Well, you're gonna be fine. Week. You're gonna be fine.
All right, let's do this question actually because it's a follow-up. Hi guys, I have a hot take on the song cleaner idea. Okay, do you remember last time we were discussing the idea of a song cleaner? Someone wrote in and said, hey, if you have the thing we've all had where a song is stuck in your head, the trick is you pick a song that's catchy but not that catchy and you play it. And his example was Roxanne, and we, to be fair, shat all over it. And we're like, that's just another catchy song.
Yeah.
Now, this person, Sean, wrote in, and I actually think he's got a really good take on it.
Okay.
I have a hot take on the song cleaner idea. I listen to the very song I have stuck in my head. Like JD, I always have music in my head. Often the strongest earworms are good songs, but I only have a small part replaying in my head. Or I'll be annoying my wife by singing that part over and over and over. Listening to the full song lets me get out of that rut, hearing the musical resolution to the song, and then moving on. I would not recommend this technique for objectively terrible songs like you were talking about Baby Shark. This makes me wonder if the reason Baby Shark is so annoying because it just repeats without ever musically resolving. There's no way to tell your brain that the song is now over.
Yeah.
Smart.
That's from Sean. What an obvious point, but what a brilliant point that when we say a song is stuck in our head, we don't mean we're singing it from back to front.
Right.
We usually mean some small chunk of it is stuck in our head.
Right. On repeat.
So Sean's solution is, instead of like replaying that over and over in your head, listen to the whole song, and then it'll eventually fade out, and your brain will go, oh, the song is over.
Scratch the itch.
Smart. I like it. I
think it's very, very smart.
All the way to the end. Then you have to listen to all the lyrics, and things get,
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to definitely try this next time because like a espresso. Either the That's That Me espresso is stuck in my head and I'm saying that over and over, or I'm working late because I'm a singer. Just that over and over. Never the whole song.
I don't think I've ever heard this song you're talking about, Espresso.
There's no way. If you've been in a supermarket in the last year, you've heard the song.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, do you want to do a scam update?
Yes,
oh,
please.
yes.
All right. Well,
Getting that Boston money.
Yeah, something unfortunate happened that I should have seen coming from a mile away. But I said on the show that someone, not even through DM, they commented on a photo of mine and said, "Hello, we are a Brazilian technology company. We have trademarked the name Moston, which is my Instagram handle, Mosten, because my name is Matthew M. Austin. And we're already in talks with Instagram to take it from you, but I just, wanted to reach out to you." And I was like, what the hell is this person talking about? I didn't think it was a scam because I actually looked at their profile and all that. Yep. But I was like, unless you're coming to me saying we're willing to purchase this from you, I don't want to get involved in this, and I don't care. But unfortunately, I said it on the show, and then someone who listens to the show replied to her comment and said, "When the hell are you going to pay this man?" And I was like, ooh, yeah, don't do that. Don't stir this hornet's nest. And then she wrote back and said, assuming that person knows me, but they don't, or at least as far as I know, they don't know me. Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, do you know Moston? Because I'm trying to get in touch with him, but he will not respond to me." And perhaps not surprising, she didn't say, "Oh, well, yes, I'd like to get in touch with him to pay him." She just said, "Well, we're talking Instagram, and we do have it trademarked in Brazil." As if that matters. I don't even understand what the argument is. Yeah. Guess what? It's my legal name. So what are you going to do? Anyone can trademark a company that's someone's legal name in a different country and then email Instagram and they say, "Oh, well, you can't just take someone else's account. Oh, sorry, you trademarked it in Brazil? Oh, well, that changes everything. Yeah, you can definitely have it. We don't care." Yeah. I mean, anyway, so I just deleted it, the whole conversation.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm just not interested.
No.
And by the way, I'll tell you this. So this also pissed me off. I've already got, and I was waiting for this, the 2-factor authentication email to my account being like, "Looks like you're trying to change your password." Oh, interesting. Why would I have gotten that?
Wow.
Yes. This technology company's trying to hack into my account.
Jeez.
Nothing's safe anymore.
Interesting.
Anyway, she kept saying that she'd like to resolve it amicably. There's
what?
Amicably?
What is it? What is it? I don't like the word resolve. There's nothing to resolve.
Yeah, there's
what the
nothing.
hell?
You are 100% in the right. And
there's either you give me money and I consider it, or that's it. There's nothing to resolve.
Yeah.
Very
all right.
weird.
JD, is there anything you need to say before we went, or Rachel, anything you need to say before we went?
No.
Okay, great.
I'm racking my brain and trying to filter out the weekend, and I think we said everything we can say.
I think we said it.
I don't think anything we did. We didn't say anything sexy though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm lacking. I didn't get enough.
Well, surely he told you what happened to your face at some point this week.
I thought you might give me some extra juicy tidbits.
Okay, you call me after, Rachel.
It's fine.
Look, nothing that crazy happened. It's just I'm not bringing other people's business onto this podcast after they treated me so well. Thank you to everyone that came too. I mean, the truth is, JD, I don't like putting people out, and this did put people out. Now, I'm not saying they didn't enjoy it, but it put people out. Both.
What do you mean you put just?
Well, people flew across the country and then Ubered here and there and sat for hours in traffic and then drove from LA to Palm Springs and then drove back to Palm Springs and then their flight was delayed for 6 hours and. The Atlanta guys got home at 3:30 in the morning, and we left the house at 11 a.m.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a rough day after 3 days of burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah, that's the great thing about a bachelor party or a wedding or whatever. Under no other circumstances would I fly out to L.A. and then go to Palm Springs for any reason other than that, And it was
100%.
Awesome. It was
100%.
It was a once in a lifetime. At the end, we're getting melancholy about it. It's this group of people will never be together again.
Oh, at the wedding.
Well, maybe the wedding, yeah.
Yeah, but not
spoke so soon. But then after that, never again.
But not in the same way, and not solo. We're all gonna have our partners with us at the wedding.
Us down, Rachel.
Well, that's what we're here for. Oh, ball and chains.
It's just a different vibe is all I'm saying. And
yes. I hope it's a different vibe. But the truth is that anytime I've gone to a bachelor party or anything like this where it is a commitment of time and money and just tired the next week and all this stuff. And there's always at some point in the weekend a part of you that's like, oh God, I wish I was just home, or but then it gets to the end of the weekend and you have to ask yourself, okay, would I have preferred not to do this?
Right.
And the answer is never yes.
Absolutely.
Like you would have like just all like the things and the jokes and the moments that you miss out on. They're just not worth missing out on, even that it, quite frankly, can be a pain in the ass to do these things. But there's nowhere that's not. Like, I mean, you can go through and be like, well, what if we did this instead, or that, or here, or there? And it's like, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. Getting people together from around the country or around two countries is always gonna be a pain in the ass.
But travel is a pain in the ass.
Travel's a pain in the ass.
That's just the facts. But you will never forget this. All of you, this is a part of who you are now, and so
I do appreciate that, Rachel. Unfortunately, I have already forgotten it.
Well, I really want to see that list of things you were doing, dude.
There's also a little bit of anxiety because you don't know. Like half the people I knew very, very well, obviously, and then the other half, I had hardly hung out with any of them, ever.
You'd mostly met everyone, probably.
Met, yes, but not hang out, like spend a weekend, so it's just like, I feel like I got, 5 new friends,
Oh,
which was great.
I'm smiling in your ear. What a lovely place to end, because I think that's true.
Yeah.
I think that is true.
Sure.
Friends for life. If you ever get married again, we're all coming to the bachelor party.
Yeah. Well, you'll be at my funeral at least.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. Actually, that's what I did say. I said that we will all be, when the first person of this group dies, we probably all will be there.
Yeah.
Including the person that's dead, because they'll be there. But then after that person's dead, even the next funeral, we're not all going to be there.
Right.
Can the professor help me calculate how much morphine I need to give to him before the funeral?
Yes.
We can
he's not
organize
a doctor. My hair will help you with that. Speaking of which, patreon.com/isthisgood. Send topics for future shows to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Subscribe on YouTube. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Thanks for listening. For JD and Rachel, I'm Matt Austin. And this was good. We'll see you next